Hey, Shaka Bras, I am Fireside Tattoo Network's very own Jake Meeks. That's right, I'm a company man. They own me. Sold my soul to the company store. I even have the mug to prove it. Actually, this is a tattoo improvement mug. It's not a Fireside mug. This is from before the merger, the hostile takeover. So today, we are going to do a little technical review. Full disclosure right up front, about a month or so ago, Kingpin Tattoo Supply sent us this fancy critical battery package, like 2 batteries with a docking station, and asked if we would provide some honest feedback on the battery pack and give a review. And so I'm happy to do that. They did give me the batteries in exchange for the review, but they were clear that they wanted just my honest opinion, which is what I'm planning to provide today. Rather than doing just a straight review, I'm going to compare it to battery packs that I have been using from Amazon, and they're cheap for sure, but I've been using them for a couple of years and I have a good feel for how they work. And in fact, I have like dozens of them laying around at this point. I buy them all the time, which should tell you something about them, I guess. So I'm gonna start with what I consider the most significant difference between these two guys, and that is the price. I think we titled this episode, or planning to title it, something like a $600 battery versus a $45 battery. That's not really true. That's not a fair comparison, because this is 600 bucks for 2 batteries and the docking station. And these are 45 bucks for 1 battery. They come with, I'll grab another one. They come with a charging cable, like a USB charging cable. So you don't have a docking station, but you do have the ability to charge them. So really it's more like a $90, let's say $100 shipped if we were to buy 2 of these. $100 battery pack versus $600, right? And so we'll go through the features. That's the biggest difference. We'll go through the features, and I'll make a recommendation at the end of this on which one I think you should spend your money on if you're looking to get into battery-powered tattooing, cordless tattooing, wireless tattooing. That title was kind of like clickbaity, right? $45 machine versus a $600 machine. Do we do that? Do we do clickbaity stuff? Are we clickbaiters? Your mom's a clickbaiter. All right, so I'm gonna start with the critical. It does come with this docking station. So you just set these right on the dock and they charge, and they do light up and show you how charged they actually are. And one cool thing about this thing is that it has a magnetic bottom. I think you've got a magnetic bottom. It has a magnetic bottom, so you can stick it to the side of your workstation if you have a metal workstation, and keep it off of your work surface, I guess. Whereas this guy, you just plug it in, you just have to lay it right on top of your work surface. There's really no way around that. And the batteries actually lock in really, really nicely. Like, see, I can shake them like that and they don't come out. They kind of lock in 2 different places. They're a little bit of a pain to get out, but see on the inside of it, they lock in pretty tight, which is cool. The voltage range on the critical supplies is from 4.5 volts up to 13 volts. So that's a pretty solid range. I think anyone tattoos within that voltage range. I can't think of anyone wanting to go higher than 13 volts when they're tattooing. On the other hand, these illusionist Amazon specials, they go from 4 volts up to 11 volts. So this one goes a little bit lower, not quite as high. And that one goes a little bit higher, and the critical goes a little bit higher and not quite as low, but I don't know that matters. I mean, most people are tattooing within those ranges. As far as battery life and longevity, how long you can run these guys, I started to do a side-by-side comparison and just set them both on about 6 volts or 7 volts and see how long they would run. But I would have to run them on 2 different machines. I don't have 2 of the same machine. And so I thought that might not be a very fair comparison. Then also, I've been using these guys they're at least a year or 2 old, and this is only a month old. So I didn't think we would learn too much from that comparison. I will say that I tattoo each day from noon until around 6 o'clock, 6:30. So 5.5, 6 hours of solid tattooing a day at anywhere between 6 and 7.5 volts. I've been tattooing with these guys for the last couple of years at 6 hours a day. I've never had a battery run out on me when they're fully charged, and the same thing in the month that I've been using these. I don't think you'll have any issue with battery life. And you know, the docking station, this one comes with 2 batteries anyway, so if you do have one run out, you can just plug the other one in. And I would recommend, if you end up going with these guys, to buy 2 anyways. They're only 45 bucks a piece, and that way one's always charging. when I first bought this one, I will say, I was at a tattoo convention and I was splitting a booth, and my booth mate was running his machine super fast, like maybe around 9.5, 10 volts or something like that. And I let him use one of these and he said it lasted around 4 hours. So if you run a higher voltage, it won't last quite as long. Somewhere 7 volts or less, I don't think you'll have any trouble with this thing running all day long. Same thing with these Critical supplies. Now, Critical advertises with these guys that you'll have no power loss whatsoever. I don't know if that's true. Right now, I've had no power loss running them, for 6 hours a day. But then again, when these guys are new, I have no issue with them either. As these age, I have had a couple of them start to have power drops later in the day. They'll be a little bit inconsistent in power, and that's why I just go ahead and buy a new one whenever that happens. One other big difference that I have noticed is in the RCA jacks, and these are both any standard kind of RCA pin style. I'm using mostly pin style machines, but any standard kind of RCA jack, these will accept. This RCA on the $45 one is made of very thin gauge metal, and as you plug and unplug, it will kind of loosen up and it'll spin on you. Let me see if I can make it do it. It'll spin on you as you're tattooing. See how it's kind of spinning around on me? Normally I'm tattooing like this, it doesn't really bother me all that much, but you can see how it kind of spins around, whereas these guys are made of much higher quality metal, and they really kind of clamp on there and they don't spin around on the machine, which is nice. That is nice. I can appreciate the higher quality of the casing and of the connection for sure on this. As far as the way that they run, this one has 3 buttons. It has a power button and 2, see if I can see that, and then your voltage up and down. You basically just power on, power off, and it's just a quick kind of click to power back off. These only have 2. They have a power up and a power down, and you just hold the power up to turn it on. You have to hold it for like 3 seconds, I think. Am I holding up or down? I'm holding down. I'm looking backwards here, sorry. So you hold it for like 3 seconds and it comes on. Really, as far as the way that they function and operate, the buttons, I can't recommend one over another. I do like that this one, you just kind of push it and it goes off on its own, and this one you have to hold it to go off or on. But that's nitpicking. Like I mentioned on the front end, the size is really, really similar. You can see this one's a little bulkier. The cheap Amazon guy is a little bit bulkier, not quite as sleek and sexy, but in size and weight, you really don't notice any difference between the two. I didn't take any time to weigh both of these. The Critical is a little bit lighter, but on the back of a machine, you're really not gonna feel either one of them. I don't know that that's gonna make any difference at all. So which one should you buy? I'm gonna give you 2 different answers. If you are just considering moving into battery-powered tattooing and untethering yourself from your station, then I would go with the Amazon job right here. 45 bucks, go on and get 2, 90 bucks. And they'll work fine. I've been using them for a couple of years. I have 4 of them right now. I do tend to buy replacements because they will lose power over time, and the RCA gets a little bit loose. You kind of have to crimp it back down with your fingers so that it fits back in your machine. But they're, more than enough for you to test out and see if you even care about battery-powered tattooing. If, on the other hand, you've already been tattooing with batteries and you're wondering whether or not you should upgrade, all of the things that I complained about with this, I have not yet had those problems with this guy. So, it's definitely a higher quality. The docking station is cool. I like that. The connection is much stronger. Click on and click off. The buttons feel a little bit better, although I've never had any trouble with these buttons. They just feel a little chintzy, but they always have worked. So that's my recommendation. Start out with this guy if you've never used battery-powered machines before. If you find yourself liking battery-powered tattooing, wireless tattooing, and you get annoyed by the cheap RCA jack or any of the other kind of cheap features of this, then go ahead and upgrade to one of these guys right here. Thanks to Kingpin, again, for sending this guy out. I'll absolutely be using it going forward. I'm a battery tattooer for life. I've cut the cord, and I enjoy wandering around my station, letting my machines run. I can dance and tattoo, I do all kinds of stuff. And finally, before I go, these are not the only 2 battery options out there. There are tons of other ones. And we have actually done a battery-powered tattooing episode once before. We'll link to it up here somewhere. We did it with my buddy Ty Pilata, and we talked specifically about the the battery that fits the ink machine Scorpion. It's a proprietary battery. It's specific to that machine. It's super, super cool. Fits really tight, tucks into the machine, and it actually uses, rather than the RCA, it uses the clip cord connections to make the connection. It has a turbo boost mode that really gives you a lot of extra power. If you're using a something like the Scorpion or an ink machine's machine, I guess, I would go with that one hands down. But check out that video. Ty is a lot smarter when it comes to this stuff than I am anyways. I kind of fumble through. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But watch all those technical things that we did with Ty. I'll include this video in that playlist with the kind of machine and gear review. Thank you guys so much for supporting what we do. Get yourself a Fireside. We don't have these coffee mugs anymore. This thing would probably cost you, I don't know, 25 grand, the old tattoo improvement mugs. But you can get a Fireside version of this mug for like, what, $4, $5? What are they? They're on our website. Go get you one. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Hey, thanks again for watching. Please be sure to like and comment and subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date with all of the things that we are doing. If you would like to buy us a drink, please support us on Patreon. There's a button somewhere around here that allows you to do that. You can also visit our website and subscribe to our newsletter so you know where we're headed and what we're doing. And while you're there, please check out our merchandise page. Buy yourself a fancy new Fireside t-shirt. Thank you for supporting the Fireside Tattoo Network, and we'll see you on the next episode.